Hey everyone, it's Star. Today I'm gonna talk about Cyberpunk again because I cannot help myself. I was honestly just getting ready to record this video and then I found myself getting a bit carried away trying to replicate the look, I guess, of V. So, I don't know, I'm wearing my bomber jacket that I haven't worn in like years and I think my sunglasses look pretty similar to Johnny Silverhand's, I don't know. But this is actually really hot, so we're just gonna take it off. But hey, maybe the chains add a little bit of coolness. I don't know. I need to get some more cyberpunk looking stuff, but yeah. Anyways, so yeah, today I honestly just wanted to kind of talk with you guys about cyberpunk stuff because I kind of have like an unhealthy obsession with the genre, so I just want to have an outlet to talk about it, especially because I just started a new playthrough for Cyberpunk 2077 and I am so excited, oh my gosh. So just a warning, this video is probably gonna have maybe a couple spoilers for Cyberpunk, I'm not sure, but I'll try to avoid them. But just a little warning. Anyways, so yeah, I honestly never thought I would start a new playthrough in Cyberpunk because I am kind of like the type of person who would only play those type of games like once, have a good run, try to complete it, and then just, you know, never play again? I don't know. But with Cyberpunk, I just couldn't resist. I wanted to go back to Night City, honestly. I wasn't ready to really end my playthrough, and I'm kind of like running out of things to do on my main Cyberpunk playthrough. So I don't know, I was trying to just complete all the gigs and everything, all the side jobs, but I feel like I've already pretty much done everything and I don't really know what else to do now. So I just decided to start a new playthrough because I was honestly feeling pretty inspired to try to do some new things. And actually one of the main reasons why I wanted to start a new playthrough was because I missed out on getting the Don't Fear the Reaper ending because I chose the wrong dialogue options during that one quest with Gianni. So this time I'm determined to get that quest done correctly so I can find out what happens in Don't Fear the Reaper. And I even wrote down in my pocket notebook the exact dialogue options to choose so I can unlock the ending. And yeah, so basically I even wrote down a couple of other things that I missed out on that I wanted to do, like get the iguana egg and also get Yorinobu's attire from the Arasaka hotel. And also I'm gonna save Takemura this time because last time I accidentally let him die and I felt so freaking bad because like I know he's a corpo and everything, but like guys, I just really like Takemura, like I want to save him, so I'm gonna try to do that. And yeah, those are pretty much like the main things that I wanted to do differently, but I'm also just trying to switch up my playstyle entirely. So first of all, I'm playing as the male V this time, or like the masculine V, and I actually decided to make one of my OCs in Cyberpunk. So I chose to play as Gianni, who is one of my all-time favorite characters, and I was having a hard time deciding on which of my male OCs to choose from. So I was thinking between Eden, Victor, and Gianni, and I was gonna do Eden because he is actually like, he's a boxer or like a former boxer. He's really good at basically like melee combat, and I thought he would be so much fun to play as because I would go with like the gorilla arms build, and I love punching in video games. I used to play, what was it? It was like a Lost Ark or something. It was like one of those RPG games, and I think it was Lost Ark. I honestly don't remember. But I played as Eden. I made him in the game, and I made him like I don't remember what the class is called, but you're pretty much just punching. You can do combos and I love that playstyle so much. It's so much fun. So I wanted to do that, but then I was thinking like I don't know, I ultimately just chose to do Gianni because I just think it would have worked better in the end. So I went with Gianni, and I was deciding, okay, how am I gonna make this character in Cyberpunk? Because honestly guys, every time I try to customize a male character, you just don't get as many good options as like female characters typically, or femme characters. I don't really like to say male and female because it's so arbitrary, but I just think in most RPG games and games in general, the femme characters always get more options for like clothing and hairstyles, and like the men always look very man. And Gianni, he has a very punk, but also kind of like a bit of a feminine look. He has like pink hair, right? And it's kind of like long, kind of looks like my hair a little bit. It's actually longer than mine, but I was trying to recreate him. I actually ended up installing a few mods to kind of help me create his look. So I found this really nice hair mod that looks pretty similar to his hair. And I also got some custom eye mods so that I can get his nice light blue eyes. And he looks a little creepy because the eyes are so bright. But hey, I think it works. It's kind of cute. So yeah, I made him as close to his actual character as possible, but of course this is kind of like, I would imagine him to be like a few years older in this timeline of cyberpunk. Yeah, so I also gave him some like tattoos and some cyberware because I thought it would look cool. So Gianni doesn't have any tattoos or cyberware in his actual character, but I think maybe in the future he would probably get those two things, so I decided to give him those two things. And I initially chose to do Street Kid life path because I did Street Kid the first time and I wasn't really interested in Nomad or Corpo because like I don't want to be a Corpo. But then I was thinking, Gianni as a character, he actually kind of starts off in the corporate world. I mean, the corp he worked for is pretty much a criminal organization that disguises itself as a corp, but nonetheless, he was involved with a corporation. So he went to, I mean, literally, when I played the Corporal Life Path, the beginning mission where you're in the Arasaka office, or like whatever it was, it looks exactly as I imagined his company's like building to look like, their headquarters. I was like, oh my god, this is exactly the same, like this style and everything. So he worked at an office. He was like an intel agent and then he became a field agent to do more of their criminal stuff. So, but he definitely went down the corporate pipeline and was pretty much like, I mean, he got walked all over by the people who he worked for basically. And it honestly ended up pretty similar to like Corpo V's whole stick, like him getting basically kicked out of Arasaka and having to fend for himself as a merc. And with Gianni, his backstory is also pretty similar. Like he eventually got betrayed by the people who he worked for and they weren't helping him deal with some other issues that his friends and him were going through, so it was like a whole mess. He eventually decides to leave his organization and goes down pretty much the like mercenary rocker boy pipeline. But yeah, so I felt like Corpo to Merc would be like the perfect thing for Gianni, so I decided to make him a Corpo, and like I thought it was pretty cool because he would still have that kind of like that knowledge from his time working at a company, but now he's like a completely different person pretty much. And he has completely different like values and alignments, and it's just really interesting to see that like character arc, not only with my character but also like V, and then having them kind of like, it just kind of worked perfectly. So yeah, but yeah, honestly I spent like a really long time just getting his initial look down because I really wanted it to look like Gianni, so I ended up spending like hours trying to install mods, and then a lot of them that I tried to install didn't work. I think it's because of the new update that dropped, so some of the mods might just be outdated now, but luckily I think he looks pretty good. I'm probably gonna try to install some more mods later and see if I can make him look even better, but for now I think he looks pretty good. And I'm not gonna lie, when I decided to make him a Corpo, I honestly started to like develop more of his lore. Like it all just came to me in a big wave. I was like, oh my god, he should have this and this and this and this, like yes. Also, I feel like he would totally be best friends with Johnny, because they are like the same, they're both like rock stars pretty much, and it's so cool. Like I feel like if those two existed in the same universe, they would totally be like best friends. But also like at the same time they would probably like hate each other at first, because Gianni and Johnny both have very like fiery personalities, and Gianni always starts fights with people. He is such a freaking like hot ball of fire. I feel like Johnny is the exact same way, so I think at first they would totally try to kill each other and then they would become friends. Also, I decided to play on hard difficulty. I think my first playthrough was on normal, and I think because I played on normal I honestly like didn't try so hard, on a lot of things. It was like a little bit too easy, honestly, for me, so I decided to do hard, and I feel like now that I'm playing on hard, I feel way more incentivized to like gear up, because I genuinely cannot survive on like in so many, like I've died already so many times. It's so much harder to survive like literally anything, just gang ambushes or even like trying to complete gigs and stuff like and don't get me started on the freaking cyber psychos. Those are so hard. And yeah, so I've been really trying to gear up, and I've been learning how to actually play like how to do certain builds. So I went with the monowire build. I'm gonna try to do that because, you know, very coincidentally, Gianni's like power, because in my universe, all the people have like powers typically. His power literally has the exact same like concept as a monowire, except his is like a chain. So I thought that was really interesting because I pretty much, my like 16-year-old self predicted the monowire. But yeah, so I decided to do the monowire, but at first I was really tempted to do gorilla arms. I tried it out for a little bit and I really liked it, but honestly it was really hard for me to like play with that because I'm honestly, 1, not very good at it, 2, I didn't really have like the right specs or build for it, and 3, I was playing on hard, so it was like a whole mess. It was way too difficult, so I decided to stick with monowire because it was more lore accurate. So maybe I'll do like a gorilla arms playthrough later down the line. But yeah, so I'm trying to do a monowire build, and I actually have like, I'm following an article that lays out like all the specs to get, or sorry, the perks, the cyberware, the equipment, the attributes, like all that sort of stuff. So I'm just trying to do this right, you know? I want to actually be able to fend for myself with just a monowire and not have to switch to a gun, because guns are kind of like the easiest thing for me to use. And I've also been trying to use knives like as a throwing weapon, which I think are so cool. They're so satisfying. So I've been throwing a little bit of knives in there, but I'm mainly trying to stick to my monowire, and of course I'm also net running. I'm quick hacking and using the monowire, which is a really cool combo. And yeah, so I'm trying to get better at combat in general and trying to be more like creative with my combat and not just use a gun. Because literally in my first playthrough, as soon as I got the Malorian arms, that's all I used, because it was just such a cool gun to me. And even when I got like stronger guns, I would still use the Malorian arms because it was like my favorite. So it was pretty boring, but I had a lot of fun with it, honestly. But it was just like, I wish I did a little bit more. Of course, I was also quick hacking, but it was literally just like guns, so kind of boring. There's so many different ways to do combat in Cyberpunk, so now I'm really trying to just try out different things and see what sticks. But I'm definitely liking the monowire. It's really, really fun. Also, another thing I'm trying to do is understand the story better, because I'm not gonna lie, guys, the first time I played Cyberpunk, I felt like I was like a little lost baby half the time, like a little Google Gaga infant on the floor, trying to understand what all these people are saying to me. I literally felt like such a gonk because I didn't know what we were talking about at all. It was so embarrassing. Seriously, like some parts of the story, even like the main storyline, I'm just completely spacing out because I don't know what anyone is talking about anymore. There are too many names, too many terms, too many locations and places and things, and there's just too many things. I don't know what's going on. I'm lost. I'm just trying to follow along, and seriously, so I felt so overwhelmed on my first playthrough because obviously it was my first time entering the Cyberpunk 2077 universe, and I was trying to wrap my head around all these new terms and characters and storylines and lore and world building, and I felt just completely lost at times, that I really was just following through quests without any idea of what was even happening in the story. So this time I'm really trying to like hone in and listen to what the characters are actually saying and trying to understand, given the previous context that I already have from completing the game and going through the entire story. So yeah, I feel like it's definitely like I'm making more sense of things now, of things that I just that went over my head the first time. So I feel pretty happy about that. I'm just trying to like really understand the actual story of Cyberpunk, because that is the most interesting part to me. And like, can you believe the first time, this is gonna be a bit of a spoiler, the first time that I played through Johnny's memories of him being interrogated and then getting soul killed, I didn't even know that those were false memories. I thought that was all real. I didn't know that he died right then and there at his first time seeing Adam Smasher. And then, like, yeah, he just gets up somehow and then he gets killed again by him. Like, it didn't make sense. But for some reason, like, the first time I saw all that, it just didn't make any sense to me, and it didn't click that it was, like, false. But now I understand Johnny's character completely differently because I actually read about it a little bit, and now I know that all those memories were kind of like fraud, just, you know, warped, remembered differently. And I also understand more about like what happened to him and that he isn't even like the original Johnny. He's different because of the way he died pretty much. So it's super, super interesting. Totally changes things, honestly, but it went completely over my head the first time. So I'm really trying to just understand this time. I guess that's probably one of the main benefits of doing a second playthrough, is literally just piecing together all the things you missed the first time. And I already feel like there's a big difference. I feel so much more invested into the story, and also like the side quests too. I've been having a lot more fun with those, especially because I'm really incentivized to do them. Because I'm playing on a harder difficulty, I'm actually trying to do all the gigs, do all the side quests, complete the NCPD like assault things, and trying to get as much eddies as I can because I am constantly broke trying to upgrade my cyberware. So yeah, it's literally like I'm fighting for my life this time, and it really does feel like it. I'm scrapping together as many eddies as I can, just trying to get some better gear, trying to learn my kit and just play better and trying to survive. It feels so much more rewarding this time too, because I actually kind of know what I'm doing a little bit more than the first time, where the first time I played, it felt like I was kind of just running around like a headless chicken, just being like, oh, this cyberware looks cool, let me get that, and oh, this quest looks fun, but I'm not gonna pay attention to the dialogue because I'm super confused. Just gonna go there and shoot my gun and that's it. And it's like, now I'm like super invested. It's really awesome. It does feel a lot more like meaningful this time. And since I am playing as an OC this time and not just kind of like myself as in a cyberpunk universe, because my first V was pretty much like my representation of me, as if I was like V. So I was playing pretty much like as myself. So I would make the choices that I would make and, you know, stuff like that. But this time I'm playing as one of my OCs. So I'm trying to actually choose dialogues that Gianni would choose and play in a way that he would play. And I feel like that's also a lot more fun because it makes you kind of think before you select a dialogue choice, like what would this character say? But yeah, seriously, like I've been playing this game so much again lately and it's been really, really fun. And seriously, like I feel like every second that passes, I just get more and more attached to not only the game, but just cyberpunk as a genre, because as you guys know, I'm not just into cyberpunk the game, I'm into cyberpunk as a whole genre because it is so fascinating to me. It is literally like the coolest thing in the world to me, and I just want to learn more about it and the stories in cyberpunk as a genre. And I've been trying to like read new books and just there's so many like movies and books and like all those sort of things that I want to see. And so yeah, I'm really excited just to like explore the genre more. It's like been so much fun. Just a couple days ago, I got Neuromancer, the book. And that I think is like one of the oldest cyberpunk books out there. So I've been trying to like start with some of the classics. So I heard about Neuromancer, so I thought I would read it. And yeah, I don't really know too much about it. I did watch like one video about it a really long time ago, but I forgot the entire plot. So I'm really excited to read it. And I've only gotten a few pages in so far, but it already has completely captivated me because it is just so cool to see a cyberpunk world that is, first of all, in book form, but also to know that that has been around since the 80s is so fascinating to me. It is so cool because honestly, guys, I don't really know anything about the 80s from like a cultural standpoint. Especially not like America 80s. I only know about certain other countries 80s times, which is not really great. Yeah, it's just super cool and it's like a whole other world, but at the same time it feels so familiar and it's just like so cool. So yeah, I'm super excited to keep reading Neuromancer, and I'm definitely gonna try to read some other cyberpunk books and watch some other cyberpunk movies. One that I haven't seen yet is actually the original is the original Blade Runner. I know. So I'm definitely gonna watch that and then probably rewatch Blade Runner 2049 for like the third time. And I also want to rewatch The Matrix. I know there's a couple other Matrix movies, but I don't really know if they're any good. I just kind of want to rewatch the classic. And then, yeah, let me know if you guys have any other cyberpunk like media recommendations, whether that be books or comics or movies or shows or anything. I did watch Altered Carbon. That's one of my favorite shows. But yeah, just let me know if you have any recommendations. I would love to I just need to consume all the cyberpunk. Also, I totally want to get some like cyberpunk accessories. I like, dude, the urge to get V's like bullet pendant is so strong. And like, oh my god. Okay, I need okay, I think that is all I had to say. I just wanted to get this all out there because if I don't, I think I'm gonna explode. I'm actually gonna explode, guys. Like, okay, so anyways, thank you so much for watching this random ass video. I know that this probably most of you guys do not give a flip, but if you were into cyberpunk like me, I hope this at least was a bit interesting to you. And I'm probably gonna make a couple follow-up videos to this, just kind of talking a little bit more about maybe Neuromancer or Cyberpunk 2077 or whatever, because honestly guys, like this channel, it is one of my favorite ways to just kind of like express myself and talk about things that I like, so I hope you don't mind. But anyways, I'm gonna go get ready for bed and read some Neuromancers, so I will see y'all next time. Bye!